Okay, if you've ever heard of the circle of fifths, this video is about how to actually memorize the circle of fifths. And I'm going to tell you how it's going to be extremely beneficial to you no matter what instrument you play, or even if you're a soloist, you're a vocalist. I play guitar. I'm going to refer to the piano keyboard because it's easier to understand than the guitar fretboard. But no matter what instrument you play, whether it be a horn, whatever it would be, this is going to be extremely beneficial to you. I'm going to give you a lot of memory tricks on how to remember the circle of fifths, and I'm going to show you how to use it for your benefit. And I'm going to talk particularly to those that are piano players and that are guitar players. But like I said, this is going to be beneficial to you no matter what instrument you play. Okay, so why do we call it the circle of fifths? Well, what we've got here is a clock, and we've got 12 letters of the alphabet around here, which all represent notes on a keyboard, or notes, in a major scale or in musical theory. And what I'm going to show you here is that first of all, we're going to talk about we're going to go counterclockwise. We're going to start from the 12 o'clock position, and we're going to come down to the 6 o'clock position. And what I'm going to show you is that if you look at a keyboard, you have, if you start with middle C, then you're going to, if you go all the way up and you do the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, if you count that up, that's 7 notes. And what you have in a major scale is that you're going to have 7 notes in every major scale. Now, the C scale has no sharps or flats in it, and we're going to start with C since it's in the 12 o'clock position here, and probably the key that's used more than any other key. So we'll begin here with this. So if you think about the keyboard, you've got the white notes on the keyboard. You've got octaves. From C to C is called an octave. And then you've got white notes on there, and in those white notes, you've got 7, which is, if we start with C, C would be our root. And if we start with C, then it's do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, and then back to do, which would be the 8th note, but that would start a new octave. Okay, so why do we call this the circle of fifths? Well, it's really very simple. If we said C, D, E, F, G, that's a fifth right there. Why? G is the fifth above C. D is the fifth above G. A is the fifth above D. D, E, F, G, A. We all know that it stops at G and starts again back with A. So we have the same thing here. We have A, B, C, D, E. E is the fifth above A. B is the fifth above E. F sharp or G flat is a fifth above B. So if you go counterclockwise here, and we're going to think about this because this is a clock, we're looking at a clock here. If you want to buy this clock, I think you can probably get it on Amazon. But if you look at it, you go clockwise here, then you've got fifths all the way around here. It's why we call it the circle of fifths. Now, if you go counterclockwise here, we would say backwards here, then this is a fourth. How do we know that? Well, we go back C, B, A, G, F. F is a fourth below C here. What we just described is a fourth below C. So if we go around this way, then we have fourths. If we go clockwise, then we have fifths. Okay. Now, the first thing we're going to do here is I'm going to give you a little memory trick here that cowboys, cowgirls, cows, whatever you want to call them. We'll start with that. We're going to use kind of the same thing that people use, the memory tricks, the mnemonics that people use in learning the major and the major scale, and learning the bass clef and the treble clef of the musical notation. So we're going to use the same type of thing here. We would say cows go dancing after 8 before 5. 8 minutes before 5. What's what I want to say? Cows go dancing. Cowgirls, you could say cowgirls, cowboys, whatever you want to. Cows go dancing at 8 before 5. And this is going to give us the first 6 positions here. Now, how do I remember, how are you going to remember that G is 1? Well, G's in the 1 o'clock position right here. This is a 12 o'clock position. This is the 1 o'clock position. There's another thing that I've always done, and if I write the letter G, I do it with one stroke. I do it with one stroke, and so if I write the letter, then I do it with one stroke. That tells me, what does that tell me? Well, if you'll see, you can't hardly see it here because of the second hand of the clock, but there's one sharp back there. And this may make no sense to you right now at all, but I want you to know that G is the key of one sharp. C, the key of C has no sharps or flats in it, because if you just go straight up the keyboard, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then back to C again, there's no sharps or flats. Sharps and flats are semitones, and that's every single note. But if we look at a major scale, then the key of C has no sharps or flats. The key of G has 1. We're in the 1 o'clock position. We make one stroke, when we write the letter G, we do it with one stroke. And the C, this you can't see it too well right here, but behind that second hand right there is an F sharp. G has 1 sharp. It's in the 1 o'clock position. It has 1 sharp. D is in the 2 o'clock position. We make 2 strokes when we make the letter D. This will help you remember. We make 2 strokes when we do the letter D. It's in the 2 o'clock position. D has 2 sharps in it. Now on the right side of this, 1 through 6, we're going to learn sharps. On the back side, on 6 through 10 here, we're going to learn flats. Why do we do that? Because you see that symbol right there? That's the symbol that's showing us that's the key of D flat. This is the key of A flat. This is the key of E flat and B flat. Okay? So 6 through 10, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, they all have, they're all flats. So we say cows go dancing after 8 before 5. We're going to use the F sharp here instead of the G flat. They're the same thing. Okay? So we say cows go dancing at 8 before 5. And then over here, dogs are everyone's best friends. Best friend. Dogs are everyone's best friend. Cows go dancing at 8 before 5. Dogs are everyone's best friends. That's got us all 12 of these notes, okay? So you need to learn those. Cows go dancing at 8 before 5. Dogs are everyone's best friend, okay? Now, something else I want you to notice. Look at this right here. You see this B-E-A-D, bead? You see it over here also, B-E-A-D? That's one way of checking. If you're getting tested, if you're taking classes in the university and you're getting tested, this is one way of making sure that you've learned the circle of fifths, because you're going to see the word bead right here. You're going to see the word bead right here also. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Also, if you're on the 7th fret of a guitar that has a normal tuning, the common tuning, on a guitar, the 7th fret, the first 4 strings, the top 4 strings are B-E-A-D also. So this is kind of significant, particularly to a guitar player, but also for everyone else as well. So we'll see this. We'll see this B-E-A-D. We'll see it from time to time. It'll show up. Okay? So if we go around the circle of fifths, we've got fifths here. C, D, E, F, G. G is the 5th. G, A, B, C, D. G, A, B, C, D. D is the 5th. 5th. Okay? All right. Now, we've learned that. We've learned cows go dancing at 8 before 5, and dogs are everyone's best friend. We've learned that. Okay? Now, we're going to dig into this a little bit deeper here. We're going to look at what's called the relative minor, the relative minors to the major key. What do I mean by that? First of all, let me tell you that this is the one. We're in the key of C. I'm describing the key of C. What are your three major chords in the key of C? If you're playing piano or you're playing guitar or you're playing any instrument that you can chord, what are your three major chords in that key? Well, they're C, F, and G. C is your 1, it's your root. F is your 4. How do I know that? Let's count it. Count it on your fingers. Go ahead and count it on your fingers. It's a simple way to do it, but it works. Let's make your thumb is C, D, E, F, G. Okay, G is the 5th, F is the 4th. So we have a 1, 4, 5. Here we have 1, 4, 5. Here we have 1, 4, 5. In the key of D, your three major chords are D, G, and A. In the key of A, your three major chords are A, D, and E. In the key of E, your three major chords are E, A, and B, and so on all the way around this scale here, around this clock here. Okay? All right. So G has one stroke. You make one stroke to make the letter G. If you're in the key of G, G has one sharp. How do I know that? Well, first of all, it's in the 1 o'clock position. Secondly, if I make a stroke to make the letter, I make one stroke to do it. Okay? What is that? What is that sharp? What sharp is in the key of G? What is the one sharp? And I'm going to tell you, you go back to here, it's F. It's F. Okay? Let's look at D here. D, you make two strokes. You make two strokes with a pen. If you write the letter D, you make two strokes with a pen. It's also in the 2 o'clock position. Okay? These are two little memory tricks that's going to help you to remember this. Okay? Two memory tricks are better than one. Okay? D's in the 2 o'clock position. What does that mean? If I look at this right here, I've got two sharps in D. What are those sharps? Well, I go back to F and C. F and C. Let's go to the key of A. What's your three major chords? A, D, and E. A, D, and E. This is your 1. This is your 1 because it's your root. This is your 4. D, A, B, C, D. That's 4 letters away from, it's the 4th letter counting A. And what's the 5th? E is the 5th. The 5th is always going to be the next one down. There's a 5th here because we've got circle of fifths. If I'm looking for the major chords in the key of A, it's going to be A, D, and E, which is 1, 4, and 5. Okay? Don't worry about these inner ones right here. I'm going to talk to you about these right here and what they mean also and how you're going to use them. We'll talk about that in a little bit. One thing I will mention here, if we're in the key of A, we see that the minor chords would be a B minor, F sharp, and C minor. Okay, the M means minor, the C sharp minor, F sharp minor, C sharp minor, and B minor would be what's called the relative minor chords in the key of A. So we look at A, D, and E, 1, 4, and 5. We look at A. This is the second. This is the second. How do I know that? Because A to B is a second. What would be the third? It would be A to C sharp. Your third is going to be here in this position. Your second is going to be here in this position. So this is the key. This is a third right here. From D to F sharp is a third. From G to B minor is a third. How do I know that? G, A, B. Okay, I just said 3 notes. G, if I'm in the key of G, G, A, B. B is my third. D, F sharp is the third for the D. All right. If we're in the key of A, we've got 3 major chords. This is 1, this is 4, and this is 5. How do I know that? A, B, C, D. I know that's my 4th. E is my 5th. Okay. What's my 6th? Well, it's going to be this right here. The 6th is going to be directly below whatever key you're needing to play in. If you need to play in the key of A, your 6th is going to be directly below that particular letter. How can we remember this A is in the 3 o'clock position? Well, first of all, we make three strokes. If we write the letter A, we make 3 strokes. Okay? It's also in the 3 o'clock position. All right? If we're looking at the time on this, it's at the 3 o'clock position. Okay? There would be a 3 right here if this was a clock, if this was a normal clock. Okay? So just below each one, if we say, well, what's the sixth of, if we're in the key of C, what's the sixth of C? It's real easy. It's this right here. It's A minor. How do I know that? Let's count them. C, D, E, F, G, A. A is the sixth of C. What's the third of C? E. C, D, E. This is the third. Anytime you're looking at something like this right here, if I'm looking at G, what's the third? B. B minor. If I'm in the key of D, what's the third? F sharp minor. If I'm in the key of A, what's the third? C sharp minor. Okay? It's a third. And you can just think about this too, A, B, C. Now that doesn't tell you that it's C sharp, but it does tell you that it's a C. Okay? What's the fourth? Well, it's going to be A, B, C, D. D is your fourth. What's the fifth? E. All right, what's the sixth? The sixth is always below whatever key you're in. If you're in the key of A, your sixth is going to be right here. All right, where's your second? Your second's right here. Okay, all right, let's say we're in the key of E. What's our 3 major chords? They're E, A, and B. What is that? 1, 4, and 5. Okay. The 6 is always going to be below whatever key we're in. The 6 is always going to be directly below, and it's going to be C sharp minor. All right. If B is the 5th, C is obviously going to be the 6th. What's going to be, what's going to be the 7th? We're going to talk about this. The 7th actually lives right over here. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Okay. But what I want you to do right now, if somebody says, okay, we're going to play this song in the key of A, well, you know your 3 major chords are going to be A, D, and E. You know that, okay? You're going to probably play the entire song with these 6 chords right here. B minor, F sharp minor, C sharp minor, E, A, or A, E, and A, D, and E. Let's call it A, D, and E if we're in the key of A. Okay? All right. So, we learn how this works. Just below whatever key we're in is going to be the 6th. If we go this direction right here, that's going to be a second. Let's look at this right here. If I go to A to B, I go C to D. I go G to A. Okay, that's going to be a second. How do I know? G, A, B, C, D, E. Okay, all right. So if you look again here, we've got cows go dancing after 8 before 5. All right, cows go dancing 8 before 5. Dogs are everyone's best friends. We remember that over here. Okay, so let's look at this right here. If I play within these 6 chords right here, I can play probably any song I want to in the key of G. Whatever's in the middle is going to be the key. The 6 is below that. All right? All right. The 6 is directly before that. The third is right here. G, A, B. That's a third. G, A, B. That's 3. That's a third. All right? What's going to be the second? A. It's going to be here. Okay? So I'm playing with these 6 chords right here. All right? This is why I want to tell you, it's very important for you to memorize. If you really want to get way ahead in your music theory understanding, memorize what I'm telling you right now. Do this and watch this video as many times as you can to make sure you got it. Okay? All right. G, you make 1 stroke with your pen if you write the letter G. It is in the position 1 and it has 1 sharp. You can't see it right there. What is the sharp? Go back over here to F. It's going to be an F sharp. D, you make 2 strokes with your pen when you write the letter D. It's in the 2 o'clock position. What are the 2 sharps in the key of D? They're F and C. You just go back here. All right. A, you make 3 strokes with your pen. If you write the letter A, it's also in the 3 o'clock position. What are the 3 sharps? F, C, G. I don't count this one. I count the ones before that. I always start back here with F, C, and G. E, how many strokes with the pen do I make to make the letter E? I make 1, 2, 3, 4. What position is it in? It's in the 4th position, right? 4 o'clock position, okay? So it has 4 sharps in it. What are they? Well, I don't count this one, but I go back to F. F, C, G, D sharp are all in the key of E. Okay? The key of B. All right? B kind of looks like a 5. Okay? It's in the 5 o'clock position, but it kind of looks like a 5. All right? That's one way we can remember that. We can remember this one, this one, this one, and this one by the number of strokes that we make when we write the letter. We're going to have to remember this one. It kind of looks like the number 5. It has 5. It's in the 5 o'clock position, and it has 5 sharps. What are the 5 sharps? We should go back to F every time. F, C, G, D, and A are all sharps in the key of B. Okay? All right. We get down to the 6 o'clock position, and we've got F sharp, R, G flat. It's the same thing. G flat and F sharp is exactly the same. It's the same note. All right. So in the 6 o'clock position, we know that we've got 6. G kind of looks like a 6. You can kind of imagine a G looking like a 6, and so we know that we actually have 6 flats here. We also have 6 sharps here. Okay. If I'm in the key of F sharp, what are the sharps? They are F, C, G, D, A, and E. Okay? It'll be those 6 right there. It'll be those 6 notes right there. Okay. All right. Now, let's go to this side right here because we're going to deal with flats from 6 o'clock until 10 o'clock. We're going to deal with flats. Okay? And here's the thing that I teach students is just remember that 6 through 10 are flats. You'll notice that none of these others even have sharps on them at all, but these do. These are flats. This is a D flat right here. And you'll notice also something else here. You'll notice here that in our 1, this is our 4, this is our 5. These are our 3 major chords in the key of A. All right. Well, what about the key of A flat? Well, you've got A, D, and E. A, D, E, A, D, E, and they're all flats. Okay? 6 through 10 are flats. 6 through 10 are flats. 6 through 10 are flats. Okay? Dogs are everyone's best friend. Dogs are everyone's best friend. Okay? All right? So how do I know if this is the key of D? I know that my 3 major chords in D flat are D, A, and G. If I'm in the key of D, my 3 major chords are D, G, and A. D, G, A, D, G, A. Okay? Now you'll notice even within these what's called relative minor chords, even within these chords right here, you see A, D, E, you see A, D, E, you see E, A, B. You see that? E, A, B. All right. We're going to see right here E, A, B in the key of G. The relative minor chords are E, A, and B. So if we're playing in the key of E minor, then our 3 main chords are going to be E minor, A minor, and B minor, probably a B minor 7th. Okay? All right. So we see these patterns taking place. This is why this circle of fifths is so important and so beneficial to you. Now, one thing else I want you to notice. The relative minor chord is the chord that is related. What is the related minor chord to the C chord? Well, it's going to be A minor. How do I know that? If I count down, it's going to be actually 1.5 semitones below C. If you're on a guitar, this is a little bit easier to see on a guitar because simply if you're playing on the high E string, on a guitar and you go down 3 semitones, and you're going to go from E down to you'll go from E to G sharp to G. You'll go to F sharp is what you'll go to. Okay. Don't worry about that right now. That can be a little bit more complicated. All right. So let's talk about this again. What if I want to play, Michael, what if I want to play in the key of F? What if everybody else in my band's playing the key of F and I need to? You're going to play B, you're going to play B, F, B flat, 1, 4, and 5. B flat and C. Okay. All right. Your relative minor chords that will probably also be in the song, or very likely would be these three right here, D, A, and G. Notice the patterns, D, A, and G. Notice these patterns, D, A, G. You need to notice those. Okay. E, E, A, B. E, A, B. Okay. B, F, E. B, F, E. Okay. All right. So your sixth is going to be, this is going to be a 6 right here. How do I know that? Well, if I'm going up the scale, I'm going to go up 6 notes. I'm going to count. I do count. If I'm in the key of C, I count C. And so I say C is 1, D is 2, E is 3, F is 4, G is 5, all right, and 6 is back to A. I know this is a 6 right here. I know that by looking at this, C, D, E, that's a third right there. Let's call it a third interval. It's called a third interval right there. Okay? G to B minor is a third interval. How do I know that? G, A, B. It's a third. It's a third from G. If I'm in the key of G and I want to play a third, then I'm going to go here. If I'm in the key of G and I want to play a second, then I'm going to go right here. If I'm in the key of G, I want to play a sixth, then I'm going to go right here. This is an interval. Interval just means a range, a space. The first thing you need to learn is cows go dancing at 8 before 5. Cows go dancing at 8 before 5. Dogs are everyone's best friends. Dogs are everyone's best friends. Okay? Be able to fill in the outside of this chart. 6 through 10 are flats. 6 through 10 are flats. 6 through 10 are flats. They're the only flats that we look at on the circle of fifths. Okay? Just below the root chord in a key is going to be a 6. To the left of that is going to be a second. To the right of that 6 is going to be a third. Okay? To the left is going to be the 4th. To the right is going to be the 5th. And if you look at this, very close, you say, well, where's the 7th at? 7th is right here. It's right here. So we looked at all 7. We looked at all 7 notes in the C scale, or we looked at all 7 chords in the key of C. Then we've got C, D, E, F, G, A, and then B is going to be right here, okay? Most of the time you won't be using this. This is actually not a minor chord at that time. It's a diminished chord, so you won't be using it. What you need to know is these 6 right here, okay? The memory tricks I'm giving you, they're not magic, but they definitely are beneficial, and I've taught it to literally hundreds, if not several thousand students here at our school in China. And students learn this, and they master this. They absolutely master this. So if I ask a student, what's the third of C, they know immediately it's going to be E. I mean, if you count it up, it's pretty easy anyway, because just C, D, E is all you're saying. C, D, E, that's a third. What's a second? C, D. That's a second. What's a fourth? CF. C, D, E, F. C, D, E, F. That's a fourth. All right. What's a fifth? C, D, E, F, G. That's a fifth. That's why we call it circle of fifths again. Okay? I'll make more videos like this one to assist you in memorizing the circle of fifths, but get it in your mind that you're going to memorize it. And main thing, the most important thing that's going to help you the most is recognizing these patterns. You know, like I said, if I'm playing in the key of A, my three major chords are going to be A is going to be my 1, D is going to be my 4, and E is going to be my 5. Okay? I see that pattern there. If I know the ADE pattern, then I know I got ADE. Then I've got ADE here as a relative minor chords to the key of C.